Alright, hey folks, this is Chris Lucas. Today is May 13th, 2017. I'm known on YouTube as Liquid Smooth. I also have another channel called The Protestant View and another channel called True Republican TV. And anyway, I made a longer version of this video. Now I'm making a shorter version of it because I just kind of want to get to the key points. Someone wants to hear some of my other points I make, you can just watch the longer version. But anyway, and also I'm adding one thing that I didn't put in the other video. But anyway, I noticed this guy named SGT Report. He has done a couple of videos recently, which makes me think that he is a DISINFO agent. And now I'm making a video calling him out on it and warning other people of it. Because, I used to do these videos more often, but it's when I had children, it got harder to keep up, and the DISINFO agents just seemed to flood the internet. And anyway, so, in this video, he's talking about Karen Hudes. Hudes, in a past video, I have already proven that she is a liar. She puts out disinfo. And here is SGT Report pushing this woman's disinfo and pushing some of his own, as you can see up on the screen, while he's conducting an interview with her. He brings up this guy named Jim Willie, right? He says Jim Willie fingers Bush regime for 9/11 false flag. These are the neo-Nazis who brought us the 9/11 attacks, and they are running out of cards to play. And I'll just read this one paragraph. Neocon is just a nice word for neo-Nazis, so people need to wake up that when Bush Jr. hit the office of the White House and his gang of neocons came in with a lot of foreign passports. Note, Israeli passports. These were the Nazis. These were the neo-Nazis who brought us 9/11. I fully believe they are the key players behind the 9/11 attacks. Again, trying to link Israel and Jews to 9/11, which I have shown in false videos it's false. I have shown in videos there's no way anything Jew could do the 9/11 attacks without a Catholic helping them, and without multiple Catholics helping them, because there are multiple Catholics you have to get through in order to do any kind of conspiracy in America. Especially like Knights of Malta, Jesuits, and even like a lot of these people who say they are Protestant, when you look them up, they belong to ecumenical churches, so they're not really Protestant. And when's the last time you heard them say anything Protestant? Because remember, Protestant means you're protesting against the Vatican. So none of them are really doing anything Protestant, saying anything Protestant, and they're not Protestant. They're all Catholic. Because basically, if you're part of the ecumenical movement and you're pushing the Vatican, and you're tying in with the Vatican, how can you be Protestant? You are part of the Catholic Church, which Revelations says, there's going to be a great whore, which is the Vatican, and she's going to have many harlot daughters. These are all the churches tied in with the ecumenical movement. Anyway, so basically, this is one piece of disinfo. Another piece of disinfo, and see, we all know that Obama never tried to fight the New World Order. Most people with a brain who have done a little bit of research knows Obama never tried to fight the New World Order. So, and I found this video of mine I did in the past, and it's called, Is David Laurie Vanderbeek Controlled Opposition? And I just want to watch the very beginning of it. I want you people to hear the very beginning of it and what I say.
This is Chris Lucas of the ProtestantView.com. I just want to make a quick video because someone sent me a link to watch this video. Karen Hudes, World Bank IRS collects your taxes and gives it to the Vatican. Syria actors. And now I'm listening to the video, and then I watched David Lori Vanderbeek say, if I were a groupie, I would be a Karen Hudes groupie, or I don't know how you pronounce it, Hudes or Hudes groupie. Now, I want you to listen to what she says at the 2-minute mark.
Barack Obama is trying very hard to do what he can to make it possible for those of us in the know to fire these thugs.
Okay. She said Barack Obama is trying to do what he can possibly do to make sure we can fire these thugs. Now, one thing in the video she said that was that like the Jesuits run the banks, and I agree with that. But to think that Barack Obama is trying to do things in order to help us get rid of these thugs, I highly doubt it. Anyone who understands how this whole system works, you should know that the Vatican has pretty much been running the Democrat Party almost from its inception. And recently...
Okay, so that's a video. So you can hear in this video where she's saying that Barack Obama is trying to get rid of these thugs. We know better, okay? We know better. I hope you people know better. And I'm not going to go into it too deep. Anyway, and here's one more video, and I want you folks to listen. I'm going to go right about to the 2-minute mark. So we're going to watch about the 2.5-minute mark. We're going to watch about 1.5 minutes of this video. And she says something really interesting, which should really make you just make you very cautious about listening to her.
Didn't get his movie. It was called "The Banksters Made Off with America." Edmund.
Oh, let me go back just a little bit further.
And the reason I know about this is because I was trying to help out a movie producer who couldn't get his movie. It was called "The Banksters Made Off with America." Edmund Dwele, and he introduced me to his network of whistleblowers. One of the people in that network is a neurologist who went to Yale Medical School and was retired, and he was trying to find out what was at the very core of all of this corruption. And
so you mentioned this species, an additional species of humans, or
no, they're not humans. They are so distinct from humans that if they were to mate with humans, their offspring would not be fertile.
Now, are you speaking of the biblical Nephilim is an entity that people have discussed and tried to understand for millennia, and that is the race of offspring of humans and the fallen angels from.
No, these are not angels. These are not spiritual.
Well, the Nephilim themselves were the offspring of the fallen angels and humanity. Is this the same species?
They are not fallen angels. Mm-hmm. They are critters. People who I am getting emails from saw them the day before. They look just like human beings, except they have these big skulls. And that is why in the Vatican, you see these crazy meters, is what they're called. And that's why the very first Jew, Moses, wore one of those things, because he was one of those Homo capensis as well. We have DNA samples of them. And the reason we know this is because it was in the papyra of one of the pyramids.
Okay, so you just heard her say that Moses was a Homo capensis, that these like fallen angels are not human, and when he said, wait a minute, she didn't say they were fallen angels. He tries to say, these people you're referring to him, this guy who's interviewing her seems like kind of like a legit guy, just trying to give a legit interview, even trying to help her, right? Because he's like saying, you mean the Nephilim, right? And she's like, no, I don't mean the Nephilim. I mean these Homo capenses. And she says that they're critters, and that if they were to mate with humans, their offspring would be sterile. Okay, was Moses' offspring sterile? And she just said Moses was a Homo capensis, okay? Now think about this. How does that jive with the whole Bible, you know? It's like, okay, she says the first Jew. So, I mean, what are you basically saying the Jews is? Because she even said the first Jew, Moses. So she called Moses the first Jew and said he was a Homo capensis. So, what are you saying, that the Jews are critters? And also, so if the Jews are critters and the Jews are Homo capensis and the Jews are not human, then who did Jesus die for? And we gotta remember the first apostles were Jews. And, okay, so if they weren't humans, and didn't humans commit the first sin, Adam and Eve, they were humans, right? And that's the whole reason why Jesus came to die, to save mankind from sin. That's why we have death and suffering in the world and all that. And, and here's, God telling Moses, here's the 10 Commandments, you're to keep the Sabbath and all these other laws. Well, and then, later on when Jesus comes, he goes, the Sabbath, man was not made for the Sabbath, but Sabbath was made for man. Well, if Sabbath was made for man, why did you tell Moses to keep it, since he was a Homo capensis, right? So she starts really kind of destroying the whole Bible and throwing contradictions if you are to believe this woman. So this woman is basically just spouting out tons of disinfo, basically, coming up with all these lies, saying there's even DNA evidence. Well, let's see this. Let's see this DNA evidence. Really, you got DNA evidence that Moses was a Homo capensis? And these people that wear these big old hats, it has nothing to do with having a big skull. What it has to do is with this. The Roman Catholic religion is Mystery Babylon. Okay, the reason why they wore these hats was because of like Dagon, right? And so they wore these hats because it was like part man, part fish. And what all the Catholic Church did was take and incorporate all these pagan ideologies and try to mix it in with Christianity to create this universal church, universal religion. See, Catholic means universal. So, and see, the whole thinking behind it was, we're going to create one religion out of all these things, and it's not going to be Christianity, so you're not going to get the truth. We're going to take little bits of something like Christianity, we're going to combine it with the paganism, and we're going to come up with this universal church, because, when you can have this one universal religion, it helps to have a one world order. But see, the one world order is going to be made up of something that's not of God, right? That's the whole reason for that they're pushing for a one world order. But the easiest way to have a one world order is when you have a one world religion. But see, Satan, he's not about having a one world religion that's a good religion where everyone's united in truth and everyone's loving God, because he wants to be the focus point. So it's to unite everybody in a lie. And to basically bring darkness into the world, because you're forgetting God's truth. God's truth is light, and instead you are part of darkness, and you are within darkness, and darkness is a realm which he thrives in, because he is a liar. And when you have the lights turned out, it's more easier to deceive people and say, hey, there's an elephant in the room, there's this over here, but once you turn on lights, you don't see those things. But when the lights are off, it's harder to know what's really there. So, well, basically, I'm just throwing these things out there. And I also heard SGT report recently, make a video. It was probably about within the last 3 months. He made a video talking about how people need to read the Protocols of Zion. And the reason why I found out about this is because, I'm subscribed to Bill Still. I like Bill Still a lot. I thought he made, some of the best documentaries about the Federal Reserve. And I know Bill Still is a little bit deceived, though. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but anyway, he said SGT reports a friend, and as I'm listening to this video, at the tail end of the video, SGT reports saying, oh, people need to, look up the Protocols of Zion. Well, the Protocols of Zion, he tells people, hey, go read this book, but what he never tells people is that it was not written by Jews. See, he keeps pushing all this disinfo where he never tells you, oh, the Jews didn't write. I mean, it's fine to go read it. But, if you want to go read it, at least tell people, hey, the Jews didn't even write it, and this is part of a deception going on. But he does not tell you that. And in fact, he does things to even push that deception and push that false narrative that the Jews wrote it when the Jews never did. And you can tell just by reading it. And if people want to know how to figure that out by just reading it, please read the work of the late Leo Lehman. Leo Lehman. That's Leo, and then his last name is Lehmann. And if you just type in his name and type in Protocols of Zion, you should be able to find his work. I'll try to put a link at the end of this video in my information box so you can go find it and read it yourself. This video is on YouTube right now, so if you wind up reading it from somewhere else, I don't know if you'll be able to see the info box. But anyway, he will explain to you how just by reading it, you know that it came from a Catholic source, not a Jewish source. And, basically in that, what he explains is how all this, you call it, the only thing that the Jews supposedly wrote, the only thing that can stop us is the great holy Catholic Church, right? Well, why didn't they say the Protestants or anyone else? They only said the Catholic Church could stop them. Like, the Catholic Church is so good. Okay, but we know, just by reading the Bible, that the Catholic Church is the great whore. And so we know the great whore is evil. And so it's like if someone was really going to have resistance to some evil movement in the world, the last ones it's going to be is probably the Catholic Church. If anything, the Catholic Church would work with them, and not against them. And so if this book, The Protocols of Zion, was actually written by Jews, I think they would be speaking against Christianity. Not the Catholic Church, but true Christians. And they wouldn't say, oh, this holy great church is the only thing that stands against them. Which makes me wonder if it was planted right before Hitler came into power in Germany, because it was to feed that whole narrative of, hey, we're fighting the evil Jews, and to make it seem like Russia was even more evil and like this really horrible place, and to keep tying in all this anti-Jewish propaganda that Hitler was putting out there in Nazi Germany. If he was trying to tie that in with, this recently discovered Protocols of Zion, which is supposed to reveal the Jews' evil plans, which was, and all this was constructed to help Catholics and many, Protestants, which fell victim to Catholic propaganda in the past, by, blaming the Jews for killing Jesus and things like that. And, I'll go into that a whole other video if someone thinks I'm... because, yes, I understand it was not the Roman government, things like that. I understand all that. But, I mean, it wasn't like Jews are so evil that they purposely were trying to kill Jesus, I mean, it's a lot deeper than that, but I'm not going to go into that biblical topic right now. But anyway, so anyway, I would just say read Leo Liam's work, and I'll try to post a link to it. And like I said, I've basically been doing YouTube videos for 8 years, and it just seems like, none of these people like SGT Report ever seems to promote like the really good people within the movement. It's really weird how we go 10 years into all this reporting, like, into the truth movement. Actually, it's more than 10 years. Because I've been studying this stuff for almost, I've been studying this since 2001. So, for me, I've been doing this for about 16 years now. And, or maybe a little over 16 years. And, I don't know, it's just really weird how I never see people, one time, all these supposed truthers out there, they don't mention people like Jared Israel. Like, how is it that no one even knows hardly who this guy is, or never talk about the Emperor's New Clothes website? They never talk about the video called, Judgment that he made, which basically, basically, like, shedded the most light on how fake your news is that I have ever seen, because I remember people getting so upset when they saw that picture of that concentration camp on the front of the Time magazine, right? That guy looks like he's starving, and it looks like he's in back of a barbed wire fence. And then, Jared Israel does this video where he shows you the photographers. He shows you video evidence of the photographers being the one behind the barbed wire fence, and how those people were actually walking around free. And the photographers just got in back of a barbed wire fence that was next to a shed, because they just want to have a place to set up. And when they took their picture, it made those people look like they were in a concentration camp. And you see this one guy that just happens to be, like, skinny, and all the other people look like they're well-fed, and you just got that one tall guy that looks like that. And they put that picture on the front of a magazine, it's called the war. And then when you read into the Yugoslavia and Bosnia and all the whole Balkans region and what's really going on. Like, if you read Michael Collins' book, he's this French writer, and recently his book got translated into English, and it's called, I think it's called The Media, Lies, and Conquest of Kosovo. Or The Conquest of Kosovo and the Media's Lies. Something like that. I can't remember the exact title, but it's by Michael Collins. And, he details so much proof that everything you heard that was going on was an absolute lie. But you never hear no one talk about this stuff. And so, anyway, I just think this is another disinfo agent. I think I laid you out plenty of proof showing that this Karen Hudes should not be trusted. I wouldn't listen to her. I don't care about anything she has to say. I don't find it interesting because I can't differentiate what's true and what's not that she's saying, You're talking about some things that are coming out of her mouth I know are obvious lies, so I don't know, like, I just don't listen to people where it's like I gotta work so hard to figure out what's really true and not. Like, yeah, I'll research everything everybody says, right? Just to make it true, just because I want to learn more. You know, someone might tell me something true, but I'm going to research and find out more. And maybe sometimes during the process, I find out that they were a little bit wrong. Or sometimes I find out they were a liar. I mean, definitely with this person, I found out they're a liar. And now my short version turned into a long version, but I don't know. This video has a lot of really good evidence in it. And anyway, later.